What is up, y'all? It's your boy Aniki coming at you with a Church of MHA solo special episode due to the timing. This is going to try to be what I do for the foreseeable future anytime we have jump chapters that start or release on a Monday. I have an air conditioner in the background. It's summer. If it makes noise sometimes, I'm sure you can forgive me. You don't want me overheating. You don't want me giving you good content. If it seems like a good trade, I'll try to make sure that I'm consistently speaking louder than the air conditioner. It shouldn't be an issue. Now, the upside to this reaction review being recorded is that you don't have to wait for once, especially for those of you who watch the VODs. I'm positive some of you are like, can you get to the chapter? Because, people talking and stuff and wait for the people to file in. But I will be using the Premiere feature so that those of you who enjoy actually being able to bounce around and talk in the chat and stuff like that during the stream still get to have that fun with this reaction review. And I'll make sure to, let you know in advance before it drops, so if you want to be in the chat early, you can, etc. So, that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and dive into MHA 359, because where we left off last time with that Panzer explosion, the howitzer, I was glad to see Bakugo getting to go, really bring it out, but he's fighting Shigaraki. He's not going to beat Shigaraki, obviously. So I'm not worried about him getting a dub here. I'm just interested in seeing his performance and the way he hoops. With that out of the way, moving into 359. So first off, I just want to say right off the bat, that color page that we got is a banger. Lots of details in it. See, I had gotten kind of like a little spoiled on this color page, but it was just so fun to look at. And just kind of like bouncing around. For example, Endeavor's holding his stump in this color page. But then I will say that, you got Bakugo and Ochako, not Bakugo, Deku and Ochako holding hands while she's wearing that frilly white with the flower in her hair and the tie. I don't know, kind of looks a little marital, but that's okay. Seeing Ida for some reason grabbing Bakugo's leg, just a lot of fun stuff in this. From Kaminari and Jiro holding hands to Mineta riding on his back. Seeing Kurohiro in here and Hori giving him a white suit to balance it out. And he's also next to his crush. So maybe Hori's giving us a little hint in that color page that, he's going to eventually be able to say something. Just having a little Eri and Nagant in the background too. So she made it in. All right, I think any of these characters... Even Gentle and Labrava made it in this color page. Hold on. That's neat. Okay. Hori too nice with it. He tucked him in there. For those of you who are wondering, I'm going to upload the color page. But he's by Kota and Deku between their legs. So you can spot him. This is a real who's... Man, it's like playing Where's Waldo. I love it. Gran Torino even looks... honestly, Gran Torino looked like he faded in this image. We'll see. All right. Anyways, instead of having fun with a color page, you're here for the chapter. Let's get into it. All right, so we're going back under and seeing what's going on. Let's see, recording, okay. Got a blown fuse in engine number 6, it needs to be replaced. That shaft is warping, get a spare over here quick. Oh shit. And it says, Chapter 359, Place of Learning. Here we are. Okay, so we keep losing altitude. Gonna crash at this rate. They're saying Shigaraki got all giant. This place can't handle the weight. The messenger bodyguard said he'll be going up top 2. Need higher output. Here we are, sky high at UA. Thanks to the electromagnetic barrier design to imprison Shigaraki, those confined within cannot communicate with this outside world. Quit filming and get to work. Hey, wait, why are you business course kids even here? What the? And is this the man? I was just about to ask if it was that one. The weird dude from Class J with the all of them from Sports Festival. Actually remember their designs. That's crazy. All right. Mandela's telepathic work is the sole means of informing the world of the state of affairs here. Yes, the school is now attuned, and we all accompany Shigaraki on this journey into death's waiting arms. Are you seriously shooting a documentary? Who asked for that? Okay, first of all, understand this. Horikoshi doesn't waste panels, and a lot of whenever he does a gag like this, it comes into play. Which means that more than likely when we get when we get to the end of the series and Deku's talking and we figure out who he's talking to or where he's telling the story of how he became the greatest hero, we're going to get images, or rather we'll know that the documentary or whatever the special is, because this is basically a way to tell you that this is a look back, the same special that All Might got, kind of. So I think we're going to have that footage in there, and even something from this clip. More than likely, these business course kids are going to catch an image similar to the one with All Might when the UA shuttle collapses. Maybe Deku is going to pull everybody out of Uegashima when it falls, and that'll be his saving 100 people. So he'll end up like pulling everybody with Black Whip, just like he did during the war. That kind of feels like where we're at, though. Consider this: all the images and footage of past wars. Who do you think left those behind, and why? The business course's role is to promote heroes. We've been taught to form the bridge between heroes and the rest of society. This is the culmination of our 3 years of learning here, and we shall leave a record of how we all achieved victory here today. And the thing I like about this is we cut back to Bakugo mid-attack with the clusters forming, the look on Shigaraki's face, and ooh-wee! Ooh-wee! He's got his guard up in that kaboom! An explosion so... Okay, so what's crazy about this is that this explosion is bigger than UA. These boys are hooping. Like, I was wondering if like the dog, and you can see tatters of like sugar. This explosion, it's not gonna finish him obviously, but this is also here to kind of give you an idea of just how crazy this battle against Shigaraki is gonna be. The fact that the explosion made it through the electromagnetic barrier, technically shouldn't be an issue because it could just be like a bunch of gas energy versus a solid going through is different. But it could also mean that Bakugo accidentally blew it through. We'll see. Whoa. Alright, and we cut back to Aizawa and Monoma. Don't shut those eyes, Monoma. What a thunderous blast. That must be Bakugo. Whoa there. Our power station up top better not be busted. I swear that kid's got some screws loose. Would it kill him to mine the arena? Does he not even care if Nigeria's gorgeous locks get burned up again? Don't you worry, hiya. Believe it or not, he really does sweat the details. Heck, you wouldn't even believe how many times he's ordered me to keep my left hand up onto the table during meals. And okay, I like this little detail that Kaminari is including because as loud and abrasive as Bakugo is, this is basically him being like, it's like, no, Bakugo has proper etiquette and manners, even if he's yelling at people. I think that's hilarious. So that's relevant. How exactly? What I'm saying is he ain't the type to fight all haphazard. And you can see chunks of finger and everything flying everywhere. It looks like Bakugo got hit in the face though, because I'm seeing blood coming off now. You condense your blast to curtail widespread damage while at the same time boosting the sheer force. Fantastic. That's why this has got to go. Sorry to say, but your growth and progress still don't interest me. Alright, so he managed to... It looks like he clawed part of Bakugo's face off. Yo, Bakugo is taking some serious damage. And it looks like he's broken Bakugo's arm pretty intensely. This is the same way he squeezed Gran Torino's leg. He's going for the crush effect. Ooh-wee. Your growth still don't interest me, though. Dynamite! Shigaraki. Okay. And then we got the rabbit hero bouncing through his body to try to pull up with the gat. Hey, which fool suggested close combat is the way to go? Because getting up close and personal with me. Uh-oh. Means you're in for an intimate taste of power on par with All Mights. That was the... Ooh. Okay, so he threw him away. That was the biggest Grand Slam I've got, but I ain't even close to the major leagues. Your thoughts, feelings, what you strive for? No, Katsuki Bakugo. The only thing about you that catches my interest is how you're closer to Izuku Midoriya than anyone else. Oh, Okay, so I will say that I saw people like flipping out about, oh, Bakugo and Deku aren't best friends, and all kinds of other weird stuff. So I'm gonna just say this: what they mean by this is that one, like you can say like, oh, like, and people are like, what about All Might? What about Inko? Inko cares about Deku. She's attached to Deku, but one, she hasn't gotten to be around him for real since the boarding school situation kind of happened. But two, it is imperative to recognize that when they were discussing why it was bad for Deku to be out there, why it was bad, the one who kind of expected him to end up alone was Bakugo, because he understood that he had the same issues of self-sacrifice, over-committing to the job, etc., that All Might has. And that's why he called both of them out. The only person who properly recognizes the weaknesses within Deku's personality is Bakugo. This is what is being referred to in this writing. And so, and anyway, this is Melvin. This is Shig for one saying this. Come on, guys. Like, even if you don't have to take it as law if you don't want to, and it's fine. This is nothing to be thrown a tantrum over. We really got to get y'all doing better. What I'm curious about, though, is because, like, it's clear that Shigaraki, part of his face did get burned by that attack. So, I mean, he did take some damage. But we'll see how this goes, because this is looking kind of rough. What I also like about that burn, though, is that it makes him look a bit more like the All for One that we got, image that we got when he was, utilizing Rewind. So, clearly, we're going to have some reference to that or explanation now. Mandalay, any update on Midoriya? I cannot reach him, but you could earlier. Barrier or not, the wonky electromagnetic waves are affecting things. I've been getting nothing but static for a while. Bakugo. Genius, Mirko, Edgeshot. Damn it, you gotta protect Bakugo. Once he graduates from UA, he's aiming to be number one. Aizawa's dedication to his students is unmatched. This man wishes he could still erase Shigaraki. I still think that Deku saved Shigaraki from him, because he was going to pull out that thing and stab him in the throat when he thought he was going to grab him. I'm just saying. He's aiming to be number one. Hado, I really wanted a proper graduation ceremony. Hey pal, once the battle's over, let's have Principal Nezu throw one together for us. Yeah. Do we even stand a chance here? If nothing else, until Midoriya shows up, we'll protect everyone with our triple threat power. Let me rephrase that. With our triple threat power! My boy's back. The GOAT is back. This is what people have been waiting for. This also more than likely means my boy's dying, but that's okay. I've always said that he's an Aniki trope. Mirio is an Aniki trope. He's the big brother. He's the big brother character to Deku. He's, a big brother type to, what's her name? Eri. Look, he's here. He's gonna get sacrificed. I can deal with that. I can handle the fodderization of Mirio, because he's gonna put on a clinic. Shigaraki is gonna be pissed when he realizes how hard it is to touch this man. And furthermore, I was wondering when Mirio was gonna come back into play. It's interesting that this kind of feels like the real reveal, like when people talk about how they feel like Mirio came back too soon. Personally, I never hated that, because like I've always told people, it was a good way to let us know that Eri wasn't going to save anyone's damage during the war. And to a certain degree, whether people realize it or not, if Mirio hadn't come back and Eri, what would have happened is we would have spent this last year, just like we spent the last year whining about Mirio coming back. You would have spent the last year whining about how, well, Eri could have just fixed this. Eri could have just did that. Why didn't we see Eri? Where's the explanation for that? Why hasn't she fixed this? Why hasn't she fixed this? Because you're incessant and whiny and you don't have patience and you don't actually care about the story being told. A good chunk of you just care about sounding like you know how to analyze things. Emphasis on sounding like you know how to analyze things. Patience is a virtue. And I'm just going to say that, like, do I agree? Do I think the editor probably influenced that decision to bring Mirio back early? Yes. What did it stop this moment from being hype for me? Absolutely not. Why? Because it's well written, it makes sense, and it's time for the big three to have their moment. We needed a chance for the big three to finally kind of show their stripes, show what makes them, you know, the top dogs. And let's be real here, one of the things that I've said on stream before is how the biggest assets here were not the pro heroes. Edshot is a CQC specialist. Mirko is a CQC specialist. Bakugo was a mid-range fighter instead of a CQC specialist, but he still had to get close for the howitzer. And let's be real here, before Shigaraki broke Singularity, that howitzer would have actually knocked him over at least. So it kind of is what it is with that one. So yeah, with the way that this battle team was set up, there was always going to be some kind of questions about this. So now, what I like about this is that Bakugo isn't eliminated. He's not out the game yet. And Shigaraki did not take his quirk, which I think is kind of a mistake, but it also would have likely screwed him over. Because the thing that I really, really thought would have been funny is if Shigaraki had stolen Bakugo's quirk and not thought about the fact or the principles behind it, and as he's expanding his body, getting all sweaty, doing all this other stuff, fighting and everything, if somebody would have just like hit him with fire, and because of his body being covered in sweat, he was exploding all over. I still think that would be a hilarious way to get him taken out. Just because exploding because you stole a quirk that you already probably don't want because of the skill floor on, or like it's got a low skill floor, I'll admit, but he's not going to be able to do half the things. But he's not realistically going to be able to do half the things Bakugo could do with it. Like he wouldn't be able to do cluster right out the gate or anything like that. So yeah, and it's crazy to like think of like Bakugo seeing himself as like not in the major leagues when the attack he threw at Shigaraki is bigger than anything like that these other heroes can throw at him. Currently, the only other person who I think can do something with the height like that level of DC is honestly Nejire. So I'm very curious to see how they're going to deal with the approach to Shigaraki, because we know that, you know, he always, Sun Eater has like all this takoyaki, we have different toxins. Depending on what he's eaten today, this could actually get really interesting. One of the delicacies in like the sushi world is fugu. And I hope I'm remembering the name of this right, but it's actually pufferfish. And the trick to pufferfish is that it has to be prepared by an expert, because if they mess up even one cut and hit the poison sac, it will make the entire fish dish toxic. Furthermore, even when you prepare it properly, the neurotoxins in it still can start to numb your mouth as you're eating it. So from that perspective, if Sun Eater has had access to some of that, combine that with some of the other poisonous, maybe some other venomous or poisonous animals that he might not necessarily have had to consume the poison of, we could get a case of effectively Shigaraki being poisoned and his regeneration having to focus on that. And then with him trying to like fight Mirio head up, and Mirio just constantly going intangible, getting like sloppy, and then opening himself up to bigger blasts from like Nejire. There's a lot of ways that this triple threat can really bounce off of each other and enable each other. And I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how that works out. And why Genis moved closer, I will never know, because he didn't need to do that. This is another one of those things that has me looking at Genis like he's a goofy. I felt like outside of the fact that he can move these cables faster and like stay at a distance, he's not exactly the heaviest hitter. I understand why All For One or Hawks and Endeavor ended up going against All For One, but the reality is that firepower was probably objectively needed here more. It just is what it is, though. Like you only have so many resources, and All For One did need to get taken down. And he probably wasn't gonna. And I mean, let's be real here. All For One probably isn't down, so this is just looking tragic all across the board. So this arc is gonna probably take a little longer than people realize or think. What I will say is that the fact that Bakugo is still conscious, the fact that, but we didn't get anything with Nejire, or not Nejire, or Genius, Miracle, or Headshot, is a massive, kind of like a red flag. I'm kind of curious to see what we're going to get out of this. The destruction of UA, we're getting closer and closer to that Tokyo 2020 Akira Olympics looking stadium. So that's what we're buying time for, basically. And the fact that Deku isn't in consistent communication could mean that he is getting help from stars, jets, like people were suggesting, because those have those electromagnetic shields as well. So if he's on one of those jets, maybe the barrier's up and it's not getting through. We'll see. Let me know what you guys think about this chapter, though. I really love that Horikoshi came back. Definitely was worth the wait. We're just gonna have to see what happens next week for the church. Sorry that we couldn't get the whole team back together, but that's what happens when it's a Monday chapter release. So let me know what you guys think down below. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you can. And make sure you leave them hail hories in the chat. And y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week. I'm Aniki. I'm out.